Peace, family. Before I get into this video, let me say this. I'm not a fan of the Democrat or Republican Party. I believe both of them are trash. But if one side irks me more than the other, it's these Republicans. I knew it was just going to be a matter of time before this video of Kamala Harris, they say that she's saying that "I told you so" went out, that would make them butthurt and come up with some ridiculous, idiotic response. The fact of the matter is this: hold your candidate accountable. If Donald Trump was half the genius as you fools said he was, if he was half as successful in business as you clowns said he was, once he got in office and did everything that he said that he was going to do, fix it in one day, sometimes in 1 hour, there'd have been no need for Kamala Harris to go anywhere to speak. But because everything happened consistent to his behavior before he got into office, he filed bankruptcy dealing with his own finances 6 times. He bankrupted several businesses, including a casino. And now that he's back in office again, and this time with immunity against crimes, even though he has 34 felonies, you Republicans, you overlook all of that. And you want to focus on Kamala Harris talking about I told you so, how she's condescending to the people, trying to scold them for not supporting her. But let me address that point real quick. First of all, I don't believe Kamala Harris went there and said, "I told you so." What she said was, this is not like we didn't know this would happen. And I think that somebody in the audience said something, and then she responded back to that and said, "I didn't come here to say I told you so," and everybody started. It wasn't just her laughing. But see, Kamala Harris didn't need to be humble to deliver this message. There was no need for that whatsoever, because she had told you fools what would happen if Donald Trump implemented these tariffs. If anybody should be humble, it should be you. Those of you who had the choice between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, and you chose the latter. Those of you who had a choice between somebody who had accomplishments in real world setting, as opposed to a person whose only business accomplishment came on a TV setting, that you can take and retake the effort. You chose the latter. If it was up to me, if I was Kamala Harris, I wouldn't talk to you fools at all. I'll let you sit up there and live with the result of your political choice. And see, if Donald Trump was half as successful with these tariffs as he said he was going to be, and this country was going to be half as successful as he claimed it would be, there would be no humility attached to Donald Trump's message. He would be talking from the top of his lungs, from the loudest microphone he can get behind, to say, "I told you so." The fact of the matter is, now that they're saying that Congress is talking about coming together and removing these tariffs, because it is doing so much damage to the country, and Donald Trump has said that he is not going to change. And let me say this: as opposed to holding your candidate accountable, ignoring all the rest, you clowns want to look back at some 1980-something video of Donald Trump on Oprah Winfrey's show talking about tariffs, saying that, see, Donald Trump been talking about tariffs for a long time. Yes, he has. And we see what has happened when he implemented them. Yes, he's been talking about tariffs for a long time, but what has he learned from it? Everything that Kamala Harris predicted would happen to this U.S. economy, and Donald Trump called her the idiot, it's come true. And it's the exact opposite of what Donald Trump said, who's supposed to be the genius. So now, what do? Like I say, and if Congress come together and remove these tariffs from causing further damage to this economic system, you cannot stop there. You better start implementing policies or procedures to get this guy out of office. Because, see, there would be no reason on earth for you to come up here and remove these tariffs. These are decisions that the President of the United States was put in position to make. You cannot have Congress come together, remove these tariffs, and then put Donald Trump back into the system to make decisions on our health care, our education, defense. Either you're capable of doing this job 100% or zero. You don't get to hopscotch around things that you're good at, and to be honest about it, Donald Trump ain't good at nothing. This man has no practical business sense that give him the experience to be president. When you look at these Donald Trump stores that you see in some of these southern states, you don't see no miniature bulldozers, forklifts, high-lows, construction equipment that this man has used to build all these buildings that he claimed he done built. You don't see that at all. What you see his name on: glasses, mugs, T-shirts, pens, business cards, anything he could put his name on, buildings. He's a labeling agent, period, and that's it. And you use this fool and put him in office. Like I said, Kamala Harris is better than I am, because I wouldn't have went back nowhere. But see, if Donald Trump was half as good as he said he would, there'd be no need for Kamala Harris to say nothing to nobody. And you wouldn't be able to find her in the daytime with a flashlight, because everything she predicted Donald Trump would have done had he got in office, if it resulted in exactly the opposite, you couldn't have paid her to get behind the microphone. Hold your president accountable. If he's not doing the job, if Congress got to step in and remove these tariffs, then you not only have to remove the decisions, then you have to remove the president who made these decisions. Period. This is not a TV setting. You don't get to take and retake and cut and uncut. This is real life. People's lives are at stake. Their quality of life is at risk. If there is no policy to get rid of a president, based upon this man's first 90 days of his second term, and he's still talking about initiating a third one, and I don't know how he based that on whatever. You have got, if Congress moves to remove these tariffs, then Congress needs to move to make all the decisions for this president. You cannot just hop and stop and just pick and choose whatever you want. If you can't do the whole job, you can't do part of it, period.